So the question is, why have we missed this? Why don't we know more about these transcendent states? And in the book Stealing Fire, there's four main reasons, and they all center around our institutions. So there's the church. Why isn't the church telling us about these transcendent states? Well, it's pretty simple. If everybody knew about these transcendent states, why would we need the church? So I once met a Mormon who was very high in the hierarchy of the Mormon church, and he was able to reach these transcendent states. But he said that it's reserved only for the people at the top, and it's reserved only for men in the Mormon church. And he actually left the Mormon church because he thought that was wrong. But it's the same in any church. These transcendent states are reserved for the top people because they're afraid that if the power got out to the people, they wouldn't need the people who lead the church. Their powers would be dissolved. So another reason we don't know about it is the state. The state government has a long history of suppressing these states of consciousness because in the old days meditation was suppressed because meditation led to peace-loving people, and peace-loving people wouldn't go fight. And that's what happened in the 60s. Nixon was in the counterculture. He went up against the counterculture, which was saying, get out of Vietnam. People that were peace-loving, taking these mind-expanding drugs, saying, no, there's this state is wrong. We shouldn't be going to Vietnam. So he pushed for the outlaw of all these, outlaw of marijuana, outlaw of hemp, outlaw of drugs, LSD, and he stopped all the research that was going into LSD. So that's one example of how why the state has suppressed these states of consciousness. And another reason is called the pale of the body. So it's how culture looks at the way we operate. It's kind of the Puritan work ethic. So the Puritan work ethic is that we have to put in a lot of effort to achieve anything, and then we'll be happy. Of course, we know that happiness can come in from a different direction. That's the internal happiness. We actually don't have to do any work at all, except for internal work. And so the culture has always denigrated and always put down people who reach states of happiness without having to do any work. They just people mock it. People think it's cheating, and so that's another reason why you probably haven't heard about it. And then the last reason is you've probably heard it's dangerous. And it is for some people. That's why it's not recommended for people who have schizophrenia or bipolar. For those people, they recommend you be guided. The psilocybin experiments that are going on now, they're guided. And it was easy to put down in the 60s because there were people that were misusing it and going off the deep end. Not that many, but enough. One headline is going to scare a lot of people. So it's a scary proposition. So a lot of people go, "Oh no, I'm not going to try that. That's dangerous." But with cannabis making a big comeback, people know that cannabis is not dangerous. And cannabis used with energy work in the right set and setting, it's not dangerous. It's actually a light version of an altered state of consciousness, which is the one that I'm talking about here. So those are the reasons you haven't heard it. Those are the reasons you haven't tried it. Those are the reasons that that society has been putting it down. But things are shifting, and I think more and more people. I'm hoping more and more people will get what I'm talking about. Especially people who use cannabis. I mean, what I always say, if you're going to get high, you might as well try for the highest of the highs. That's what quantum transcendency is. Thanks.